Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. This is Hawk Talk, brought to you by Steel. This fall, power up with Steel, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. Also brought to you by your local Ford dealers. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist, made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. This is Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. Here's Gary Dolphin.
Iowa football may be taking a well-deserved bye-week break, but hey, the work goes on for the Hawkeye Radio Network as we report in for another Wednesday night of Hawk Talk live from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City in the Hilton Garden Inn. Hello once again, everybody. The Hawkeyes posted another impressive victory this past weekend, Saturday to be exact, and what has been an incredible three-game winning streak that began after that knockdown drag-out with Indiana about a month ago. The Hawks lost a close one over at Kinnick to number 2 ranked Indiana at the time, and then what a flip. The solid victory at Wisconsin, 1-point decision of Penn State, and then the convincing victory last Saturday over at Kinnick Stadium over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So here the Hawks are soaring at 6-2 overall, 4-1 in the Big Ten, and a week now to heal the bumps and the bruises that are so predominant this time. 2/3 of the way through the season, 8 up, 4 to go. 8 down, 4 to play yet, starting with the Oregon Ducks, another top 10 ranked opponent. Nothing new when you're in the Big Ten. Oregon will come calling a week from Saturday, and the Hawks have a lot of time to prepare and heal up. And so, I mean, there's so much to be determined yet. But here your Iowa Hawkeyes are right behind Ohio State and Indiana, the two lone unbeatens in the Big Ten. So congratulations to Coach Ferentz. Much to be determined, and we appreciate you joining us tonight, you Hawk fans, not only here locally at View Rooftop, but around the community and around the Midwest and around the country here on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. For the next 90 minutes, we'll be here taking your questions, your comments, on a number of avenues, a variety of ways. First off, let me start out by thanking, as always, KCRG, Channel 9.2, that beams the broadcast visually throughout eastern and central Iowa. Thank you, Aaron Rooney, Deke, and Mike on the crew producing and directing our show here live from View Rooftop. We ask for your questions on Twitter at Gary Dolphin, on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. You can reach us on Instagram, too, now. Instagram at Voice of the Hawkeyes. There's the U.S. Cellular text line at 319-853-8344. 319-853-8344. Or you can email us your question to hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. But to me, what trumps them all is, why don't you come on down to View Rooftop? Show up here. Have dinner, order a beverage or two, a Diet Coke or your favorite beer. We've got it all for you. Settle in, watch all the flat screens. There's probably 9 or 10 in the main property. If you want to go out and brave the wind on a 45-degree night, you can go outside and sit on the deck by yourself and look at the skylights of downtown Iowa City. I'd strongly suggest that in September and most of October, but perhaps not tonight. There might be some goblin and ghouls out there, but happy Halloween to everybody. The Hawks laid the monster mash on Minnesota, didn't they? Saturday, as Bobby Boris Pickett used to say, it was a graveyard smash. Indeed, it was. Complimentary football, all three phases of Coach Ferentz's team: special teams, defense, and, of course, offense. So you got Gronowski coming at you from one direction, Caden Weegan coming at you from 12 directions. And then on defense, the emerging star, Zach Lutmer, with a pick six. That's 18 consecutive years. Not 18 consecutive games, 18 consecutive seasons that the Hawkeyes have had a pick six under Norm Parker and or Phil Parker. That's how good that defense has been. I added up the numbers the other day. In the second half of this year, we talk a lot, Pat Anger and I and everybody else does, about halftime adjustments, whether you're ahead or behind. Iowa's defense is giving up 4.5 points a game in the second half. 4.5 points a game in the second half. In other words, if the Hawks have the lead going to the locker room at the break, chances are really good they got a chance to be in victory lane at the end of the night. Some of the information we'll pass along to you tonight. Now, Coach Ferentz, it's a bye week. Normally we don't have a show on bye week, but with this crazy basketball-football overlapping schedule, the basketball schedule was going to interfere with a couple of our shows at the end of the year. So we agreed to do bye-week shows this week and the previous week, not the previous week, previous bye week, excuse me, this week, and we're adding a show at the end of the year to serve our complimentary or our full complement of shows to our friends here at View Rooftop, which has been such a great success. We appreciate you folks for coming out, you regulars who come out each and every week. We've got people here tonight who have not been here before. Gary from Rockford stopped by. Gary's a State Center native. I said, I know where that is. That's right in the middle of the state. State Center, Iowa, and worked in the Rockford area for a lot of years. Now he's retired. He grew up in Iowa, loves being a Hawk, And Gary's here visiting this evening, and he'll be back, as I'm sure you will be in the future. Of course, View Rooftop is our host each and every Wednesday night for Hawk Talk. You can stop by on football Saturdays to View Rooftop for a new experience unique to Iowa City. You can come in this Saturday. They'll have every available college football game on that is important to the Big Ten standings, the Big Ten race. But you can immerse yourself in an invigorating environment with comfortable, contemporary indoor and outdoor seating, high-definition televisions for watching the game, game day specials, and live music. Enjoy the camaraderie and celebrate with a toast at View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in Iowa City. Here's the number to call for reservations, 319-519-4650, 319-519-4650. Coach Ferentz will not be here tonight. Of course, this is prime time for recruiting. The high school playoffs are underway. The staff fans out, with the exception of one. Seth Wallace will be here a little bit later on, pinch hitting for Coach. Seth, of course, is the associate head coach of Iowa football, and really, in my view, and I've said this publicly, a head coach in waiting. Hopefully he never leaves Iowa, but he is the outstanding linebacker coach, Grinnell, Iowa's finest. Seth will be here with his family tonight. We'll talk to Seth about not only the win over Minnesota, but look ahead at that high-octane, that high-powered Oregon offense, and how the defensive coaches plan to strategize against Coach Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. They're fifth on one poll, ranked sixth on another. Needless to say, Oregon is Oregon. The Ducks are good every year. They are such a welcome addition to the Big Ten. They bring such a marquee brand and a powerhouse of a program. Not just football. They're outstanding in basketball. Track and field speaks for itself with Phil Knight's involvement out there in Eugene. So Coach Seth Wallace will be here. We've got Athletic Director Beth Goetz with us on the stage tonight. Great to have Beth here. Great to see Beth anytime. But we'll talk to Beth about all things Iowa athletics after we take our first break of the night. But let me remind you one more time, you can reach us on Twitter at Gary Dolphin, Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. I'm sure you have some questions for Beth Goetz. Feel free to reach out to us on the social media directives. U.S. Cellular text line is open. You can call, leave your message, 319-853-8344, or email us your question to hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. We're brought to you each and every week and each and every game day by Hawkeyes. Every great season starts with a strong foundation. For farmers, that foundation is a healthy soil. And at Hawkeyes, we're restoring life to the soil with over 800 species of microbes, helping grow stronger crops, more profitable farms, and healthier communities. Hawkeyes, the future of farming starts here. Learn more at Hawkeyes.com. The Dodgers and the Blue Jays have gone to, what, Game 5? If memory serves me correct. No, I didn't stay up for the 18-inning game the other night, but I did watch a lot of last night. Shohei Ohtani was brilliant for 6 innings, but Toronto can smash the baseball. And ultimately they got down early, came back, and won it 6-2. So that best of 7 is tied at 2 victories apiece. It's amazing. It's now a 3-game series. Dodgers have the advantage in pitching, but man, Toronto has all those booming bats in that lineup, and they've got Game 5 about to start at Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. We'll keep you posted on that. And all things Hawkeyes as the evening progresses. And when we come back, we're going to visit with Beth Goetz. Soccer, field hockey, volleyball, they're all close to going to, well, volleyball not quite yet, but the other two are close to going to postseason. Hawkeye football is revving up. Basketball and wrestling are about to move in and try and crowd football out, but they're not quite on center stage yet, but they will be here in a couple weeks. And Ben McCullum will be here in just a little bit. Coach McCullum will join us a little bit after 7 o'clock tonight to talk about the opening of a new era of Iowa men's basketball. That will be exciting. Next Tuesday night, the Hawkeye men open the season. The women open on, is it Monday night? have their first game, Jan Jensen, sold out Carver Hawkeye Arena on Monday night. So there's a plethora of items and sports to talk about when we come back after our first break. We're at View Rooftop. For you folks here in the audience, if you'd like to come up and ask a question live, you're more than welcome to do that, whether it's Beth Goetz, Seth Wallace, or Coach McCullum when he arrives, okay? Back in a minute to View Rooftop on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Fall's the season for game plans and for powering through your to-do list with Steel. Whether you're mulching leaves or trimming back before winter, Steel tools help you finish strong. Trusted by pros, built for you. Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hawkeye Nation, the wait is over. Carver Hawkeye Arena is calling, and the Iowa men's basketball team is ready to light it up under new head coach Ben McCullum. It's his first year at the helm, and the Hawks are ready to fly with high-octane style of play that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Single game tickets are on sale now. Secure your seat, bring the energy, and help give the Hawks the home court advantage. Head to HawkeyeSports.com and grab your tickets today. Let's pack Carver and make this season one to remember. Go Hawks!
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Ferentz. We're excited about the football season. Iowa Corn is pumped up for their season and their partnership with the Hawkeyes. When you drive to the game, support Iowa's corn farmers by selecting unleaded 88 at the pump. It's a fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet. It's worth the hype. Get pumped up with unleaded 88. Let's go Hawks.
Gary Dolphin back at Hawk Talk at View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City at the beautiful Hilton Garden Inn. Corey Sheets is our engineer-producer. We've got Aaron and the crew at Channel 9.2, KCRG. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Hawk fans. Let's give a nice warm welcome to Hawkeye Athletic Director Beth Goetz, who has agreed to come down tonight and be an integral part of the show without Coach Ferentz tonight. But I remind you, we will have Coach Ben McCullum here, talk basketball, and Seth Wallace, Iowa's All-American linebacker coach and associate head coach, will be here. We will talk plenty of Hawkeye football a little bit later on. Beth Goetz, great to see you as always.
It's great to be here. And I don't know that I'm a good replacement for Coach Ferentz, but at least I can keep the seat warm here until Ben and Seth show up for the crowd. So
you're fine. You always do a great job. And since you segued into Coach Ferentz, I mean, you're at Kinnick every game day Saturday, every home game day Saturday, and is that the best atmosphere or one of the best you've ever been in? I know it's one of the best, but it's hard to top it and a lot of these fans that are here tonight are season ticket holders, and it's just a joy to walk into that press box and open up the window and hear that each and every game day Saturday.
Oh, it's absolutely the best. I don't think you can replicate at another stadium what our fans bring to the environment and the impact that you all have on the game. I mean, you see that each and every Saturday, and it's just an incredible opportunity to walk in. I've been in I've been in the stadium before on the other as a visiting team member, and I can tell you it's pretty intimidating. So, but it's a really special environment, and boy, has it been incredible the last couple weeks.
You came to Kinnick as a member of the Minnesota athletic staff once or twice anyway, back in 2012 to 15 or 16. How about that episode on Saturday? I mean, I don't think anybody predicted or could have predicted 41-3. Certainly the Hawks had a great chance to win the game, and trophy games are different, but they're very special.
They do. They mean a lot to our fans. They mean a lot to the student athletes, to be sure. And I think, Coach does such a great job of talking about one game at a time. But they all know there's something special and meaningful when they get to go take that trophy at the end of a victory. And so fun to see that, of course, and to do it in such an emphatic way. I'm sure surprised everyone that we jumped out with that type of lead so early. But it was an exciting game and entertaining one, and you're just so happy for the athletes to see them get a win like that.
How about number 21 here, Caden Weegan? We're looking at some of his highlights. The punt return for a touchdown against Minnesota last Saturday on KCRG 9.2. My opening monologue talked about how special teams, defense, offense have been so complementary to each other, and Coach has mentioned this a number of times. When you can get it done, when you can score from all three phases, nothing tops that.
There's just no doubt about that. Watching Caden, I mean, it's just crazy to see what he can do individually, and you think he's surely not going to try to take this one in or break that tackle, and he does. And I think we're all going to be saying one day we got to watch that up close and personal, and you think sometimes those moments and those student athletes are one of a kind. But we have a lot of them here, and each one is special in their own way, and it's just been really fun during my time here to watch him grow and develop and to see him having the success he is now.
I reminded people he walked on. I mean, Williamsburg, we've had a lot of great players from Williamsburg come to Iowa, went to Iowa Western, bid his time. Coach offered him a walk-on. He's not a walk-on anymore. He's a run-on. And that his first step, his vision, the way he darts, sidesteps, he's and I've said this publicly, he reminds me a lot of Tim Dwight. Not saying he's Tim Dwight, not saying he's Cooper DeJean, but I'll tell you what, he's got a combination of both those guys.
Yeah, and a little bit of fearlessness, right? I mean, and you have to when you're a returner, but you can just see the focus, and that comes on his face when he's ready to take off, and what he's going to do, I think, surprises even our blocking crew on occasion, but he finds a way, and has he been exciting? And I think the best way teams can avoid that is to try to figure out how not to have to give him the ball. But it's been fun to watch him return, and he's gotten really involved on the offensive side as well. So it's been exciting for him.
He said the other night on our postgame coverage he wants to line up at running back. He wants the ball in his hands more. Give me the ball more. Give me the ball more. That is who he is, and you love guys like that. And we love all of our Hawkeye student athletes, Beth. Their accomplishments on the field are one thing. Off the field, whether it's the APR, the academic numbers. Aaron Graves just this past week. Not only is he an All-American football player and a great defensive tackle, he was named a finalist for the Campbell National Football Foundation Campbell Award, won by Jack Campbell, Hawkeye linebacker, a few years ago. No relation to William Campbell, who is the namesake. To put it in perspective, it's the academic Heisman Trophy. Aaron gets, I believe it's an $18,000 or $16,000 scholarship for being one of the finalists. I believe they picked 16 finalists out of 188 candidates. Just another feather in Iowa's academic cap.
He's just such an impressive young man, and I think anybody who spends any time with him is going to figure that out really quickly, certainly from a football perspective. But I tell you what, he came in, he's working on his a capstone project for one of his classes, and did a little interview, and I tell you what, you could have just put him on our senior staff.
He interviewed you?
He did.
Wow.
He's working on a project that involves the landscape in college athletics, and just how insightful and thoughtful he is about how he's looking at what's happening nationally. And so just an impressive young man, and you're just so excited for him to be recognized that way. And I know he's proud of the positive attention it continues to bring the University of Iowa and all of our Hawkeye fans.
We probably could cite 100 examples of both male and female athletes academically who excel on the athletic field. I mentioned soccer and field hockey. Headed to postseason, we've got some tremendous scholar athletes on both those programs, but really throughout all 22, 23 sports.
We do, and even in the last couple months, there's just so many examples we can point to about the things that those student athletes are doing off the field and off the courts. I mean, we did two. One of our wrestlers, women's wrestlers, and one of our gymnasts this weekend who were participating in a CBS immersion program with the Big Ten. So they were actually in the truck helping to produce the game, and so that was just really incredible. Valerie Solorio, and then Karina Munoz had that opportunity, and so you see that, and you got Will Ryan, who's one of our tremendous cross-country athletes, who's been recognized nationally for the amount of community service he does and the support he's given, and all the work he certainly is doing right now with the Stead Family Children's Hospital, and we all know how passionate Hawkeye Nation is about supporting that. And then, you'll have to ask Coach McCullum about this one, but we had two of our new men's basketball student athletes who are down at the mall, going in to Shields, and notice a woman that's having a medical issue. Stop,
really?
Call 911, make sure she's taken care of. She had a child with her, and so we just have one athlete over another who are better people than they are athletes, and so we're proud to have them represent us in so many ways. And again, we could talk about these type of examples all night, but they're just a really special group of young men and women.
Now we'll ask Coach McCullum about that when he gets here. But talk about community service. That really hits the nail on the head right there. The big news last weekend not only was the win over Minnesota, but that beautiful John Deere logo that now is on the floor of Duke Slater Field, debuted Saturday and caught the eyes and the attention of everybody. John Deere
looks good, doesn't it?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Thank you, KCRG Channel 9.2. Yes. The antlers are very noticeable on either side of the Kinnick Stadium field turf. We're looking at how they painted that on there. It'll be a more permanent fixture next year at this time. But the thought struck me here. We have Iowa opened in 1847, if memory serves me correct. I wasn't there for opening day, but I'm a historian. I love to read about history. And then John Deere goes all the way back to the about that time, maybe even earlier, 1820s, 1830s, before motorized implement equipment. John Deere is a great Iowa story, born and raised in Iowa. And what's the story behind the relationship John Deere and the University of Iowa? Tell us about it.
Yeah, this isn't something new. It's existed for a long time, and they've been incredibly supportive, and we've had a partnership with them, and they've supported scholarships, done a lot of need-based aid type things for the university as a whole. And then most recently, they started a first-of-its-kind program called the John Deere Scholars, and that's with the Davenport Community Schools. And they're providing scholarships for students from underrepresented communities and who have financial need, the opportunity to receive a scholarship and attend the University of Iowa. And they've built a whole program to help support them upon their arrival, and this is their first class here. And so this is just another opportunity to extend that great partnership. And as you mentioned, there's probably no one that makes better sense to have.
For sure.
On the field at Kinnick there, and we're proud to be able to continue to grow alongside them.
Basketball opens up next week for real. I know you've had some new plans, not only for the students, but for the general ticket buying populace for Carver Hawkeye Arena. What update is there, if any? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we're certainly in a leadership phase of trying to think about what we can do to renovate our wonderful arena. It's just a few years old now, so it needs a little upkeep. So we're excited about that, and as we generate some financial support, we'll be anxious to talk about some details there. But there's also some things we can look forward to right now. And so we're making some changes to move the students closer to the baseline, and so you're going to see some stands that are right up a little bit close so that they can be spirited and cheer on that opposing team when they're shooting free throws and whatnot. So we're excited about that. Moving some of those seating up a little bit closer there is also going to allow us to have some points of sale in behind, closer to the tunnel, and so it'll be a place for those that are sitting lower in the bowl can grab a quick beverage. We also have for the first time for some of our club seats the ability for them to do some ordering from their seat and have some items delivered. So
perfect.
We're really anxious about some of the improvements we can make over time, but we also want to continue to serve our fans that are so incredibly loyal in the best way we can in the meantime.
Perfect. Before we let you go, Beth, and we really appreciate you coming out tonight, a couple questions for Beth on our social media outlets. Well, we talked about some of the changes coming up at Carver. Thank you, Tim, for that question. Kendra, well, this is an easy one to ask. Isn't an easy one to answer, I should say. What's next for college athletics? Well, we're in the middle of a hailstorm right now, but it always works out. NIL, transfer portal. We got one window now for transfer portal in football. That's good, right?
It is. I think we were really supportive of doing that, trying to make things more predictable while allowing students some flexibility. And so we'll adjust. I don't know if this will be the last adjustment we'll make, but I do think it's a step in the right direction so coaches and teams and athletes can figure out where they want to be, make it a little bit more predictable. But I think whether it's transfer, the transfer portal or any of these other adjustments that we're continuing to make, we're now halfway through the first year of revenue sharing. We're still living in and learning what the new era of NIL is going to look like under the College Sports Commission, and all of those things are going to continue to evolve. But the one thing we're confident of is that here at Iowa, with the passionate fan base we have, with the leadership at our institution, with the incredible coaches that are guiding our program, is that we have the ability and the teams in place to figure out what's next. And so we'll be able to do that in a way that makes most sense for who we are at Iowa and be successful. So we're going to ride the roller coaster a little bit because we know we can do that together, and we're confident we'll come out on the other side and continue to be representing this great fan base in a way that makes them proud.
Well said. This will be a good question on, is this on Twitter? Yes. John wants to know, we'll let you go on this, Beth. What Halloween candy will you be giving out this Friday?
Well, we bought our stash. So if you want to swing by our place, I think we got a little bit of everything from Snickers to Heath bars to Skittles to Swedish Fish. And so we're stocked up and will be ready to see some of those great costumes that come this Friday.
My wife came home a couple days ago with bags of candy. She said, do you know how much chocolate or candy has gone up in price? I go, don't have a clue. You're not going to find me anywhere near a store buying candy, but apparently that's gone up like everything else.
Yeah, I think for about an 8-pack of Snickers, it might be about $8. So
oh my goodness.
It's not inexpensive. But what a fun night it is, and everybody's got a great story to tell. About what their favorite costume is or whatnot. So it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll be excited to see all the young ones around Iowa City and Coralville.
You'll have a few Hawkeyes ringing your doorbell, no doubt, right?
We'll be ready.
All right, thanks, Beth, for coming out tonight. Great to have you here.
Thanks for
Beth
having
Goetz,
me.
everybody.
Hawks.
We'll take a break, come back with more on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz in just a minute. Ben McCullum will be showing up here shortly. We'll talk about Ben and basketball. Seth Wallace then will take us home talking about Iowa football, the Hawks associate head coach, as well as linebacker coach. We're here at View Rooftop, sponsored by View Rooftop, just off of Clinton Street. half a block off of Burlington. And we're sponsored by Iowa Corn throughout the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series. Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. So on behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, they're getting that crop in right now as we speak. We salute all athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like our top athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Go to iowacorn.org, iowacorn.org, and learn how corn grows Iowa. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. 10-second ID break here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. Flagship stations WHO in Des Moines, WMT in Cedar Rapids, booming throughout the Midwest tonight, bringing you Hawk Talk, as well as 50 other stations on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We're coming back to View Rooftop in just a minute. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Hello, Hawkeye fans. This is Bruce Gerlman, and I own Jethro's Barbecue. Have you heard the news? It's really big news. Jethro's Barbecue is now open in Coralville. That's right, across from the Hawkeye softball diamonds on the Coralville Strip. Jethro's is your game day headquarters. Call ahead and order your tailgate barbecue from Jethro's. Before the game, during the game, after the game, stop in Jethro's and eat my amazing slow-smoked wings and my world-famous baby back ribs.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
Hawkeye fans, elevate your game day with the Kennick Premium Tailgate, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. Imagine your own 10x10 tent and prime parking pads, all inside Krause Family Plaza, the closest tailgating to the stadium. Enjoy the energy, the atmosphere, and the convenience of being just steps away from kickoff. Secure your Kennick Premium Tailgate today at HawkeyeSports.com/tailgate. Make every game day unforgettable with the Kennick Premium Tailgate, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz for View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City. Put your hands together for Iowa men's basketball coach Ben McCullum, who is here tonight for a couple minutes to chat about the opening of the basketball season, which is next week. On Tuesday, the Hawks welcome from Horizon League Robert Morris opponent. It's ironic, Ben, that one of your better players, Fulgaris, Alvaro, he says, "Call me Al." which I like.
That's what I call him, yeah.
The Spaniard, Al Fulgaris, who is 6'10", about 240 pounds, loves to shoot the three. He can go inside. That he came here from Robert Morris as the Horizon League Player of the Year. We'll talk about him in a minute. But first off, generally speaking, welcome. Thanks for coming by tonight on our bye week here. I'm sure you were at Kinnick on Saturday with some recruits, or at least some of your players, and had to love that.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, going to those home football games and seeing the energy in the crowd, and obviously playing that well is always nice, and especially Minnesota, and I'm sure there's no love lost there. So
a little bit of a rivalry.
I can say that because I'm not on the football staff, so I can say whatever I want.
Well, and you grew up in Storm Lake.
Yeah, there you go.
You're pretty close to the Minnesota border.
Yep. So it was a good win, obviously, and if they could keep it close a little longer, I'd appreciate that, though, so that I can stay engaged and stay enthused and whatnot. But I certainly appreciate the win.
Let me run that by Coach Ferentz. I'm guessing he's going to say, you know what, if I can win by 38 every time out, regardless of who it is, he'll sleep better.
That could be the first question you ask him. I think just say, hey, Ben.
Coach McCullum would like you to keep it within a touchdown.
Just for
keeps everybody engaged.
Yeah.
But engaged or not, I mean, the fan base at Kinnick, and you'll see this at Carver as time goes on, it's incredible. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, it's awesome. And they're excited about basketball every time you see people there, and obviously excited about the football team, as they should. They're having a phenomenal season as expected.
Well, if there is a Caden Weegan or a Mark Gronowski or a Kamari Moulton in basketball, it's Bennett Sturtz. He's a headline grabber, not intentionally, but everything kind of gravitates toward Bennett. We're also fired up to watch him play, as well as the rest of his teammates and the team you've assembled. And I know you've been practicing now for the better part of a couple months. Well, actually go back to June when you could first get the guys together for at least a number of hours per week. But here we are, fast forward to within a week of your first game as head coach of the Hawkeyes. How do you feel?
Feel great. Obviously we need to play somebody else, just in a real game with a real crowd and whatnot. But it's still, I think the hardest part when you have 13 new guys, because essentially they're still new to each other. Obviously those 6 that came with had played together, but you're trying to interweave other people. We're still a work in progress in a lot of ways from an offensive perspective. Our defense is well ahead of our offense, which is good. Sometimes when we put the wrong lineups out there, our defense goes a little bit south. But, offensively is where we're really trying to click. I spent the entire day from about 7 a.m. till what time is it right now?
7 p.m.
Yep. Just making sure that we kind of retool it and get the ball where it needs to go more consistently. And we've worked on what I call our flow all summer, where it's all random basketball, variety of reads, etc. But I think with this team, initially, we're going to need a little bit more structure with what we do from an offensive perspective, which we've been working on for the last couple weeks.
Saw quite a bit of the scrimmage the other day with Texas Tech over at Carver, and great opponent, of course, to go up against and learn some things about your squad. But it was fun to watch. It's fun to see college basketball ready to start. The few practices I've seen beyond that is you really express defensive intensity, just always moving with the opponent, offensively moving the ball, trying to find the open shooter. But defensive intensity is incredible. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, no, thank you. We that's probably comes from my old head coach Steve Tapmeyer when I was in college. He was elitely intense. I think to win in the Big Ten, that's what you need. Is a level of intensity, a level of toughness. I think in any sport, to be honest, and obviously defensively, you have to be able to get big stops, like late in the game, those kind of stops, and we put a lot into it because that's kind of the foundation for what we need in the future. Anytime you take over something, I think it's really tricky because a lot of times as a head coach, especially, we've won a lot over the years, and you take over this program and the expectation is let's just go win 31 games. And I'm not saying we won't do that, but you can't just create a result without the foundation. And so, we talk to our guys a lot about, okay, obviously we want the house to look like this, but the first thing is you need that foundation. Otherwise that house is going to blow over. And so we've really invested a ton into the foundation as to what we're doing so that we can have a culture for the future. And it's the same thing we did at Drake. And, we won a lot of those games early. We were slow starting at Drake, but, and then obviously won Charleston, which that kind of sped things up quite a bit. But we focused a lot on that intensity, the defensive intensity, the physicality that we're going to need to be able to compete in the Big Ten.
At Northwest Missouri State, you won 4 national championships at the Division II level. What was the common denominator among those 4 titles that you hope transitions to Iowa?
The people. I mean, it's still. I always think culture is set by your people, and if you get the right people and they're all connected and they want to serve each other and they're unselfish, etc., I think a lot of times good things happen. From an X's and O's standpoint, we had a lot of skill, a lot of really good basketball players first and foremost. We had one team that as a team they made 11 threes and shot 46% from 3 as a team.
Wow.
Most teams don't have a single player that shot 46%. So had a lot of shooting, had a lot of good players, had a lot of great kids. But again, going back to it, we set the foundation early when we were there. I was still figuring out how to coach, but we did do a lot of the right things and getting the right kids, creating that intensity, creating that togetherness, and then, we're able to win a lot of games in the future.
Bennett Sturtz, of course, everybody wants to talk about Bennett, and why not? Everybody wants to watch Bennett. What makes him extra special? What takes him to the next level skill-wise?
I mean, he can pass, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can do pretty much everything. He processes the game extremely quick. He just does everything very, very well. I think he's still trying to learn his teammates. I think that's part of the process of trying to figure it out of, okay, when is my time, when is their time, etc. And so we're still kind of processing that piece of it. But very athletic, deceptively athletic. And just a great, just a good kid, and so that helps because his teammate allow him to be great because he's such a good person.
Rebounding is important, coach, in basketball, as you know, especially in the Big Ten. And it takes time to build your program. And you've got some bigs. Fulgaris, we mentioned. Cooper Koch, the lone scholarship returnee from last season here with the Hawkeyes. And Cam Manuel, from who came over with you from Drake. I love his body, 6'9", 245, 50 pounds. But what I've learned about Cam is his mental approach. Now he's one of your few upperclassmen. I look for him to be a real leader on the floor because of his veteranism, his just the way he handles himself.
I would agree. His voice is big time. He's got to do it all the time, and that's where he's gotten better from last year into this year, where like his voice and his enthusiasm for it and his self-confidence when he plays and his fight, when he puts that all together and he's like tuned up, you can't box him out. I think he had 4 or 5 offensive rebounds versus Texas Tech, and he'll do that consistently. I think he led the country in offensive rebound percentage last year per minute he was on the floor. He's just a ball getter. But more importantly, obviously he is highly intelligent, both academically and on the floor, and then his voice can really carry. He's not afraid of confrontation within the team, and he understands what our expectations is. Now it's just, okay, can we get that out of you every single day throughout practice and throughout the season, and not just big games.
Well, look forward. I'm excited, fired up for Tuesday. Before we let you go, Ben, let's take a couple questions here off of Twitter and Facebook. Excuse me, Eugene. Coach McCullum, how many players do you see in a regular game rotation?
We played 12 in the scrimmage the other day.
You did.
But part of that is that then your offense suffers quite a bit because you can't get guys into rhythm, and they just miss shots they normally would make. So, good question. I would say whoever's good will play. So it could. I would guess you're probably going to go anywhere from 8 to as many as 10. I think in the future you probably want to sit around that 7 or 8 mark. I think when you establish kind of your identity, establish a team, establish returners, etc., ultimately you'd probably be at that 7 or 8 mark.
So there you go, Eugene. Taylor says, Coach Mack, can't wait to watch you guys play with that defensive intensity this season. Drew says, Coach, last year you moved to Drake. People question if your players would translate from D2 to the Missouri Valley. Now you bring your team over from Drake, or 6 guys, and people aren't questioning if it'll work. How different is that for you?
I probably don't really pay attention a whole lot, to be honest. I don't necessarily think just because it worked at the Missouri Valley from Division II that it just translates to the Big Ten, because every situation is completely unique, if that makes sense. Meaning,
it does.
Just because it worked once doesn't mean like, okay, now we've arrived and it's going to work. There's still a lot that goes into it from just a emotional perspective. Are we going to be tough enough from an emotional level? Are the kids that we have the right kids? Do they connect with, there's so many things that go into that, because technically that group wasn't absurdly talented. The other 3 Division II guys that we had with us. But obviously Bennett was really talented, and some of the kids that we brought in. And so, I think the talent should translate. I think we'd probably be more connected than what you've seen in some of the exhibitions where teams that you think are going to be top couple in the country will go get beat by 20. And it's like, well, what happened? Well, they've got an entirely new team is what happened. And this team decided that they want to win this, and the other team just kind of went into the scrimmage, or the exhibition. So, a long answer, but I think it'll translate, but we'll find out here shortly.
It's all in the approach, philosophically speaking. Yep. Bill from Bluegrass says, Coach, who's in your starting 5 Tuesday? We'll hold off on that till Tuesday night.
Thinking Dolph will be in that.
Well,
what do you think? You got a jump shot?
I was always good coming off the bench.
Okay, good. We're sitting on the bench, one of the two, right?
Set enough screens for me. I can get the shot off, Coach. You go. Tanner says, Coach, I see photos and videos of you online playing pickup games. How often do you play?
Whenever Cooper DeJean comes into town, that's when I do. Because right now I'm 5-0, and that's plenty. That's all I need.
And that's pretty good against Cooper DeJean.
He's a good player.
He's pretty good. Herc on Twitter, I love the new men's basketball white jerseys. Can you ask Coach what goes into that process of updating jerseys? And will there be new black and gold versions? Well, okay.
So the second part is, there'll be new black and gold versions. Those are, I don't know if they're done yet, but they should be done. Nike's unique, not to go into too much. There's like 2 versions. There's like a group of 10 different jerseys that you can order. And you kind of mix and match what you want on those 10 jerseys. That's what we ordered, where it's kind of more Nike, like the jerseys that they have for most people, essentially. And then there's elite jerseys after that, which you're only up for every 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know how many years it is. We're not up for them yet. And so those were the jerseys that they had last year. So in the next couple of years, we'll be up for a new redesign that'll be unique to the University of Iowa. Is my understanding. Assuming all the Nike stuff is true, but that's what happened in the past. So I guess I shouldn't promise any of that stuff. That's how Nike does it with all Nike schools, except for like there's probably a handful of really elite school, 3 or 4, like your Dukes of the world, that probably get a redesign every other day. But we get them pretty consistently, which is great.
You're more concerned about who's wearing the jersey and what's inside that jersey.
I like sharp jerseys, so I like what the football team does, where they're pretty sharp and not plain necessarily, but it's black,
traditional,
white, traditional. That's the word.
Absolutely.
Traditional. I'm more of a traditionalist, where it's really sharp. I don't like a lot of fluff to it. I like to look good and sharp.
I love those black jerseys with the big old Steelers gold stripe Saturday in the Minnesota game. Were they good or what? Huh?
Those were really good.
Outstanding. Ben McCullum, can't wait to get started. By the way, we'll have the Ben McCullum show each and every, typically Monday night during basketball, but with 35 games, we'll be bouncing around a little bit, but that'll be out at the Hyatt out in Coralville, and we look forward to getting started next Tuesday against Robert Morris, coach over at Carver. Look forward to it, Ben. Thanks for coming out tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Great to see Coach McCullum. Men's basketball, of course, the women start on Monday night with Jan Jensen. And football will press on here for the next month. We've got Seth Wallace in the house, Coach Wallace, associate head coach, as well as linebacker coach of the Hawkeyes. He will join us next here at View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City. View Rooftop, you can experience the high-energy rooftop bar anywhere in Johnson County. Spectacular views of downtown Iowa City. View Rooftop features a distinctly modern escape filled with a unique outdoor design. View Rooftop, located on the 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn. That's where we are tonight. Specials on Hawkeye football game days, including a week from Saturday when the Oregon Ducks come calling. View Rooftop provides a memorable experience of food, music, and fantastic views of the Iowa City skyline. Here's a number to call for your reservation, 319-519-4650. 319-519-4650 to set up your View Rooftop reservation today. And Hawk fans, entertain your friends, clients, or employees every home game in Hawkeye Village, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. Navigate. The packages include game tickets, catered food and beverages. Visit HawkeyeSports.com for details. Let HawkeyeSports.com do the work. You just show up and enjoy your tailgate at Hawkeye Village. Navigate Wellbeing Solutions is an employee engagement company helping organizations create more health and happiness in the communities they serve. Learn more at NavigateWell.com. That's NavigateWell.com. Get your yard ready for fall. Fall's here, but you've got the proven power of steel with you. That's STIHL, as strong as steel. From cleanups to cutbacks, Steel has the tools to help you win the weekend. Steel, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. We're back with Hawkeye football talk with associate head coach and linebacker mentor Seth Wallace. That's next here on Hawk Talk from View Rooftop. Coach Ferentz Show returns after this.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hawks running to the basket and a dunk.
The season starts Tuesday, November 4th for Ben McCullum and your Iowa men's basketball team. As we count down to tip-off, we're calling on Hawk fans to rally around Coach McCullum, Bennett Sturtz, and the team as they embark on the season ahead. Secure your seats and find the full schedule at HawkeyeSports.com. We'll see you at Carver Hawkeye Arena for the men's basketball season opener, Tuesday, November 4th on Iowa, and Go Hawks.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Hawk fans. Coach Kirk Ferentz here. For 40 years, our players have proudly worn the ANF logo to honor the hardworking farmers who keep this country growing. With fewer farmers working the land, their challenges are bigger, but their commitment never wavers. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau are proud to stand with these dedicated families who feed and fuel our nation. Thanks for celebrating 40 years of America Needs Farmers. Let's keep standing strong for the people who keep us going strong. To learn more, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Rocking and rolling on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz tonight from a View Rooftop Live. View Rooftop, Hilton Garden Inn, 12th floor. We're right on top of the rooftop out overlooking downtown Iowa City. I'm Gary Dolphin. Because of the bye week, Coach Ferentz is off doing other things tonight. We certainly give him a pass. After all, he is the head coach. He'll be back next week. And for the remaining 3 weeks of our show, we will have Hawk Talk each and every Wednesday from 6:30 to 8. We've got the best possible fill-in, if that's what you would call it, for Coach Ferentz tonight. And known as the linebacker coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes, he was the interim head coach on opening day a year ago. He's the associate head coach of the Hawks. Let's welcome in Coach Seth Wallace of the Iowa staff. Seth, great to see you.
Great to see you, Gary. It's great to be here.
Great win Saturday. I don't know any other way to polish that than, trophy games are special. Border rivalry games are extra special when you put the two together. Old Floyd, the Heartland Bull, the Cyhawk, they all mean a lot to the players as well as the coaches.
Yeah, the trophy's where it needs to be. And, certainly our guys did everything to earn the right to, gain the trophy again. And, we just had a really good week, and it was capitalized on Saturday with a really good win and a really good performance, really across the board as well as we've played in all three phases.
We're at the time of the year where you usually don't have this much voice, so I'm glad you had enough to come out here with the vocal cords. Are you taking better care of it?
I got a cough drop in right now, so
you
hopefully we can make it through it.
That lozenge is wonderful,
Yep.
Isn't it? How about this guy on KCRG 9.2? We're checking out Caden Weegan. If you were going to put him on defense, he might be a little small for a linebacker, but boy, he'd be a heck of a corner or safety.
Yeah, you'd want to put him wherever the ball's going.
That's a good point.
Because I think it would go back in the other direction pretty quick. But, really just you can't say enough about what Caden's done. And, as an Iowa native, hometown Williamsburg, it's really fun to see. It's fun to see the state embrace it. Obviously Kinnick Stadium, whenever that ball's in the air, is on their toes, waiting to stand up and see something special happen. And he's certainly done that a handful of times this year.
The average fan I don't think understands the value that special teams bring in general to the offense and defense. But when you have a kicking game that features Stevens and Dakin and a return game that features Weegan, I go back to Tim Dwight, Reggie Roby, those days, what it means in terms of valuing the whole package and how it fires up the offense and defense.
Yeah, just, when you've got special teams units that can create momentum swings during the course of the game, and, momentum swings aren't always, with the ball ending up in the end zone or points on the board, but when there's a shift in field position, it really benefits both sides of the ball. And, right now with our specialists, with our return game, I would say that there's more that goes into it than that. There's another 10 guys out there that are doing their jobs to create that momentum. But, really just fun to see. And, I do think we're gaining traction in a handful of areas. And, certainly all three phases the other night showed where, if we can get it going and work complementary football in those three areas, then we've got a chance to be pretty good.
And the other component about special teams, you mentioned the kick coverage, punt return team. It's a mix of offensive and defensive players, kids that are going to play a lot in the years. Usually you cut your teeth on special teams.
It is. The one thing that's unique to Iowa is we have historically used guys that are in the 2 and the 3 deep on special teams and developed them that way. So then, when they do end up, taking snaps on the field in starting roles, it's really not the first time that they've been out there, because they've, Carson Shire's a great example. He's been a staple and a core guy on special teams for the last 2 or 3 years, and then, he walks out there as a starter in week 1 at linebacker. The world's not too big to him, and we've got a bunch of guys that are doing that right now. That it's only going to lay the groundwork and the foundation for their career moving forward, offensively or defensively.
One of your guys, Cam Buffington, the other night with a big pick, 1 of 3 turnovers that Iowa forced. He's been flying up and down the field on special teams all year. Really, all 3 of those redshirt linebackers have.
They have. They've all been doing a great job, and we're fortunate right now that we've been in a couple of games where we've had the opportunity to get those guys in there, and looking forward to continued opportunity for those guys to get out there when their name's called or when the opportunity presents itself. But everything that they've done up to this point, whether it be a handful of reps on defense or the reps they're getting on special teams, is only going to benefit them and our team down the road.
We're talking with Seth Wallace, Hawkeye Associate Head Coach, Linebacker Coach. We'll come back and go to Twitter and Facebook for Seth. Some questions. You're welcome to chime in. You can reach us on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. On Facebook, we're at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. On the U.S. Cellular text line, leave us a message, 319-853-8344. 319-853-8344 if you have a question or a comment for Coach Wallace. You can even email us now, hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. That's hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. We'll also have a scoreboard update for you on the World Series when we return. From the View Rooftop, we are at the View Rooftop, the 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Iowa City. Got room for you tonight. Bring your group in and enjoy outstanding food and beverages at View Rooftop. Back with more here at View in just a minute. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growing and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Your Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team is serving up Big Ten excitement this fall at Extreme Arena.
Winning stall catches the back line. The Hawks win it 25-21, and they take it in straight sets.
With fast-paced action and fun for the whole family, Iowa volleyball is the perfect way to spend an evening. Season tickets are on sale now. You won't want to miss out.
And that'll go for a block.
For more information on tickets and the 2025 season, check out HawkeyeSports.com.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Hi, Hawk fans. Coach Kirk Ferentz here. For 40 years, our players have proudly worn the ANF logo to honor the hardworking farmers who keep this country growing. With fewer farmers working the land, their challenges are bigger, but their commitment never wavers. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau are proud to stand with these dedicated families who feed and fuel our nation. Thanks for celebrating 40 years of America Needs Farmers. Let's keep standing strong for the people who keep us going strong. To learn more, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
All right, we're back on Hawk Talk. Normally, Coach Ferentz is here, but with a bye week, Kirk has the night off, and we're delighted to have Seth Wallace with us on Hawk Talk from View Rooftop. Seth, the outstanding young coach, associate head coach, and linebacker coach of the Hawkeyes. How long have you been here now? What is it? You've been here 10 years? Maybe
it's, 10 going on 11.
You're pushing double figures?
Yeah, and
that's great.
14 if you include the graduate assistantship.
That's right.
I had with.
And then you went to Georgia. Yep. Was it Georgia Southern?
Went to Valdosta State.
Valdosta State.
Yep.
Great program, as most of the Georgia programs are, and came back. And, you know, to that point, Kirk has always told his guys, like you, grad assistants or young assistant coaches, go somewhere else, see what it's about there. And then you want to come back, we got an opening, we'll take you back. And I guess I dovetail into Coach Ferentz is such a tremendous leader, but he's also a pretty good general when it comes to eyeballing talent that he wants on his staff. And that's why people stick around for 10, 12, 15, 20 years unless they become a head coach.
Yeah, Gary, I don't know that you'd find, and you probably won't ever again find the consistency and the continuity, in college football, especially based on what we've seen in the last, in the last couple of weeks and in regards to, changing coaches, coaching staffs. The landscape of college football is changing daily. And, all we've done, is stick to, the way that Coach Ferentz sees things and the way that we do things. And we're fortunate that our people have been here, for years and continue to want to stay here. And I think that's why we're benefiting from it as a program. And, our fans are benefiting from it as well.
Almost $150 million in dead money now promised in buyouts for coaches. I mean, good for the coaches. The schools are willing to pay that. Now, most of that is Jimbo Fisher, but whether it's James Franklin or now Brian, drawing a blank, LSU. Brian Kelly, first at Notre Dame, then at LSU. And I would dare say that all three of those guys and others will be coaching again somewhere. And that's just the state of the game, the state of the economics. But whether or not it's sustainable, only time will tell. That's why Iowa is such a great story.
It is. And, to think about, as I mentioned, just the changing of the college football climate. And, we almost have a bubble that, that we're shielded from in some ways. And we try to remind our players, to try to create their own bubble, so they're not listening to everything that is going on the outside, because there is a lot out there. There's a lot when it comes to, the landscape, NIL. Just open your Twitter and you'll find somebody that either wants to, rain on your parade or somebody that wants to,
join your parade.
And neither of those are real good. Of course, when you're going through a season like that's not where you want to live. So we're very fortunate from that standpoint that we are at Iowa, and that Coach Ferentz is our head coach, and he's got years of doing this and navigating it through different waters. And here we are right now in a 6-2 season with a 4-game stretch that we've got a chance to win every game. We've got a chance to lose every game.
You guys will have them ready. I know that. Let's go to Twitter and Facebook. Eugene, Coach Wallace, we have 3 very talented young linebackers. What do you like about this trio? And how does a team handle the bye weeks? Well, to the first point, you've got 3 starting linebackers that are young in terms of experience in Carson and Jackson and either Harrell or Montgomery. Talk about those young guys, and then a word about Reese and Buffington and Derek.
Yeah, starting with the 3 or the combination of the 4 that are playing for us right now, I think they've done a really good job. They've benefited from careers that started on special teams, and they've logged a lot of reps on the field in special teams roles, which has given them the confidence and the experience to go out there and and take on what they're taking on right now at the linebacker position. I think you've seen week in and week out where that group, even though they're inexperienced, they've grown significantly with each week, and I think they'll continue to for the next 5 weeks, to include this bye week as we head to the last 4 games of the regular season. And I'm excited about it because there is tremendous growth that's taken place there, but there's also opportunity, and we saw that when Jaden Harrell went down and Jaden Montgomery took in and took over that role. And you never know what's going to happen during the course of a game, the course of a week, but any of those 4 guys are suited to play any of those positions.
When you look at what you've had and who you've lost, and I won't mention everybody, but Jack Campbell and Jay Higgins obviously come to mind, Nick Jackson, Castro. I mean, you've had so many great players that in the middle of that defense that it stands to reason that you would have some inexperience this year. But how reassuring is it to have those guys in the back end, the safeties and Lee and Deshaun at the cornerbacks, and then up front you've got potentially 3 All-Americans, let alone first-team All-Big Teners, and Llewellyn and Ethan Herkett, and obviously Aaron Graves, one of my favorite players, and the 2 rotating tackles that transferred in. I mean, you've got such bookends that those linebackers have to feel pretty confident when they run out there.
Yeah, I think confidence is the right word, and then there's a pretty good working relationship because so much of what we have to do at the linebacker position, dictates our alignments and how we play up front, and so much of what we do in the secondary has to get communicated in order for that to get translated and communicated to the front. So, the working relationship that exists there, regardless of experience or inexperience, speaking to whether it be the linebackers or the 2 new defensive tackle transfers that we got with Jonah and Bryce, the fact that everything has to work in unison, I think, is what provides everybody with the confidence week in and week out. And that's all built in the meeting room. It's built during practice. It's certainly built outside of the walls of our building, where these relationships have to strengthen, beyond the football field. And, that's why I think we still, both sides of the ball, special teams to be included, because there are some of those type of, new guys to the program where we just got a chance week in and week out to continue to improve.
Coach Seth Wallace with us for the next 15 or 20 minutes. If you'd like to check in on Twitter or Facebook with a question for Seth. Iowa off this week. Oregon a week from Saturday. They've not set the time for that kickoff yet. It'll be either 11 or 2:30, 11 a.m. or 2:30 p.m. Will not be a night game. We can promise you that. We'll take a break as we go out on the Iowa Soybean Association scoreboard. Toronto has a 2-0 lead on the Dodgers. Game 5 of the World Series out in L.A. Toronto with an early score. They're just in the 2nd or going to the 3rd inning. Time for a break here on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from View Rooftop in Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
fuels the season for game plans and for powering through your to-do list with Steel. Whether you're mulching leaves or trimming back before winter, Steel tools help you finish strong. Trusted by pros, built for you. Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Get ready, Hawkeye fans. New head coach Ben McCullum and the Iowa men's basketball team are ready to hit the hardwood.
He's working hard into the corner. Koch hits a three. Oh, talk about catch and shoot.
Carver Hawkeye Arena is heating up. Witness the electrifying plays in person and be a part of the roaring Carver crowd. Take in all the action happening at Carver Hawkeye Arena by visiting HawkeyeSports.com on Iowa, and go Hawks.
Time is flying by. Another Wednesday night of Hawk Talk here from View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn. I'm Gary Dolphin. We're joined tonight by Coach Seth Wallace, Associate Head Coach of Iowa football and linebacker coach, longtime linebacker coach with the Hawkeyes. When we went to break, you had talked about Carson Shire and the Montgomery and Harrell in the middle and Jackson Rexroth on the outside, the Leo. Those three, a lot of people want to know a little bit more insight about those three redshirt freshmen, the future of the position going forward next year or the year after, whenever that happens to be, and Preston Reese and Cam Buffington and Derek, three kids I know you've been high on a long time.
Yeah, I think ever since, recruiting the three of them, you've been attracted by the competitiveness. I think more so than anything, because I don't think you would describe, any of the three as definite linebackers coming out of high school. One was a quarterback, one did everything for his team at Williamsburg, and the other one was a running back at Winfield Mount Union. And I don't know that you would have a crystal ball and say that, hey, they're going to be Big Ten college, Big Ten linebackers. And, that's the direction we chose to go. But, the one thing that stood out to us was just their accomplishments beyond the football field and in other sports, and the competitiveness that it takes to accomplish, what they did. And, I think we're benefiting from it. I think we're benefiting from it as a team. I think it's maturing our younger classes to see those three guys operate in the manner in which they do. And, I think they'll be on the field at some point and in significant roles. Right now we're fortunate because we've got 3 or 4 linebackers that are playing, well right now. And we've got a couple that are, right behind them. So there's a little bit of a gap, but the gap is closing with the 3 younger guys right now. And, the better part of that is they're all 3 Iowa kids, which makes the story pretty special. And it'll get real special as those guys, start taking on those roles.
Small town Iowa farm boys, yep, for the most part. That's great. Pat, I'm guessing this is not Pat Anger checking in with us. I know how he likes to jab you, but what's been the biggest surprise this season? Or maybe, let me rephrase that. Who's been maybe the most pleasant surprise, whether it's somebody we're not familiar with or somebody who's played?
Yeah, I think, Gary, that, just a big collective surprise. And I shouldn't say surprise because I think we do a really good job of vetting, those that, that we ask to be a part of our program. But I do want to make sure that, it's worth noting that, the young men that we've asked to join our program in a world of the transfer portal and, just going out and, there's a lot going on right now, and it makes it real difficult to navigate those waters. But you just look at the guys that have joined our program, whether it be in the last year or whether it be in the last 6 months and got there in June, maybe January, those pieces have been big to our success at this point. And they're all selfless individuals. They've all, put their own wants and needs behind themselves and given it to the program. So, I would say that. And then, speaking defensively, and it's not a surprise, but guys, you really like what Xavier Wampa's doing at the free safety position. And that
I'll say,
a little bit of a change from last year, moving over to the free safety position and Cohen taking over the strong position. But, it's not been a surprise. But, guys, you go back to last week. I mean, there were some impact plays that he made that, gosh, you really love to see it. And you love to see it for a guy that, right now is playing some of his best football.
The Bermuda Triangle, no safeties, and Lutmer and
throw T.J. Hall in there as well defensively.
Exactly. The mix and match, a corner or safety, it's that back end has really stepped up. But good answer, Coach Wallace. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. They've been growing their winning team since 1837. So whether you're cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, nothing runs like a Deere. And you can tailgate at Kinnick, fans. Literally, the Kinnick Premium Tailgate presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions includes your tent, parking, cooler, and tables, all set up in Krause Family Plaza, right where the football team comes in a couple hours before each and every kickoff on game day. Just steps from kickoff, too. Don't miss it. Go to HawkeyeSports.com/tailgate, HawkeyeSports.com/tailgate, and reserve your Kinnick Premium Tailgate. We'll come back and wrap up this week's show, a Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from View Rooftop right after this.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less scrolling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Fall's the season for game plans and for powering through your to-do list with Steel. Whether you're mulching leaves or trimming back before winter, Steel tools help you finish strong. Trusted by pros, built for you. Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listen. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
We got a couple minutes left on this week's Hawk Talk. Thank you all for coming out tonight to View Rooftop. Thanks for listening in. Iowa not playing this weekend. The Hawks will be able to sit back and relax, watch some key Big Ten matchups. And then a week from Saturday, Iowa will kick off with Oregon. The Ducks at Kinnick Stadium, either at 11 o'clock or at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. Seth Wallace, I know you're just getting into the tape about Oregon, but you know what you got every year with the Ducks. They're a quality program, one of the blue bloods in college football. They have the deep resources out there, but they still got to coach and recruit, and they do a great job.
They do an outstanding job, and I think if you look at their coordinators past, if you look at their head coach, like they're built to sustain the success that they've had. Haven't had a whole lot of turnover in regards to their staff, the philosophies that they believe in all three phases, and then they, on top of it, they've done a really good job recruiting. They've got really good players at every position. So this is going to be a big challenge for us, and we're fortunate that we have a bye week to ensure that we are healthy going into next week. Mm-hmm. It also gives us a little bit of an opportunity to take a sneak peek, at what we're facing before we get into the actual game week.
And they're coming to Kinnick. That might be the best thing.
They are coming to Kinnick, and if Kinnick's anything like it has been this season, and especially the last two home games have been special in so many ways. So we're excited for our fans, we're excited for our program, and certainly looking forward to next Saturday.
Thanks for coming out, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Gary.
You're a great pinch hitter for Coach Ferentz. I'm Gary Dolphin. Good night from Iowa City and View Rooftop.
This has been Hawk Talk, brought to you by Steel. This fall, power up with Steel, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Also brought to you by your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. By your local Ford dealers. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Linux and your local Linux home comfort specialist, made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.